Good evening. Welcome to Amzie Miller Field and the second broadcast of Cougar Broadcast Media for a football broadcast. But tonight we have a full crew. We've got cameras. We have play-by-play announcer. I'm Mark Stone. I'll be with you all evening. 1 year ago, a surging Mishawaka squad traveled to Amzie Miller Field in a sectional semifinal round. 48 minutes later, the Cavemen watched the year's campaign end at the hand of the Cougars of New Prairie High School. Today, the Cavemen are ranked number 3 in Indiana 4A football, and they are seeking revenge. The Cougars are coming off a dominant win against the scrappy St. Joseph team and look to continue building momentum. Both the schools bring years of tradition to the gridiron. Both are seeking to add to the win column against a quality opponent. Only one will leave with their fourth win of the season. Tonight's broadcast of Cougar Broadcast Media is, like I said, it is the initial. Lights are on. Band is lining up. There's a good crowd here for the anniversary. We asked the 50 years of Cougar football players to come back tonight and enjoy the show. So we are about ready to kick off in about 20 minutes. And we will be back with you shortly. You're listening to CBM, Cougar Broadcast Media. Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media. The band is taking the field, and we're going to have a short interview with Coach Bill Gum right before this evening's game.
I'm Sean Kleppinger. This is CBM. I'm here with the New Prairie football coach, Coach Gum. So, Mr. Gum, last year you faced the Cavemen, correct?
Correct.
And you sent them home for an entire season, right?
That's correct. Final score is 42-21 in the sectional semifinals.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Are you at all worried about the Cavemen coming back this year for a rematch, knowing that you sent them home last year?
Well, absolutely. When you lose to a team, you always look forward to your next opportunity to kind of revenge that loss. So I'm sure it's been in their minds ever since they left Amzie Miller Field last fall. So they've probably been working real hard to get ready for this game. And so we're just as concerned with this game as we are any other game, though.
It is to my understanding that the Mishawaka has a new coach, Keith Kinder, if I'm correct. His record is 3-1 so far for his first year. Pretty impressive. Are you at all worried about that, and does that affect how you're preparing for this game this week?
Well, between the two staffs, we've known each other now for over 10 years, and back when Coach Curtis was with Mishawaka, so we got to know Coach Kinder quite well. And absolutely, I'm concerned. Coach Kinder is a great coach. In his playing days at Jimtown, he led them to back-to-back state titles as their quarterback. So very knowledgeable of the game, and it seems like he's got the Cavemen going in the right direction right now.
All right. Last week, you guys faced St. Joseph, correct?
Correct.
What were you most pleased with by that game?
I think overall, our resiliency with trying to back away from some of the things that were going on during the game, a lot of distractions, a lot of penalties caused by both teams. I would have to say that would be one thing I was not pleased with is penalties on our side of the ball. But the way our kids handled adversity when the penalties were happening, they kept their minds in the game. Everything was clear, and their overall behavior.
All right, go Cougars. Was there anything you think we could have improved on this practice this week?
Well, the things that we worked on is we have to be able to get into formations quicker and without making mistakes, and understanding when somebody is in motion or when they're not in motion. We can't have the false start penalties or the illegal procedure penalties that we had last week. When you're going against teams like Mishawaka, there's not room for those errors to where you're always fighting from a deficit of getting 5-yard penalties, all the time. So we worked on that quite a bit this week. Make sure we understand what formations that certain personnel is in on, and executing the plays.
All right, Mr. Gum, thank you for your time. That was CBM.
Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media, this evening's broadcast on YouTube. Hopefully you found us. Just a few offensive stats for New Prairie. Offensively, New Prairie has always been a run team. Last week, they opened up a new dimension with a passing game. So we're looking at the New Prairie offense, and Chris Mays with 52 points and 8 TDs, 2-point afters. Chase Ketterer with 48 points and 8 TDs. Ketterer with 427 rushing yards on 62 rushes for an average of 6.9. Chris Mays with 511 yards on 59 rushes with an average of 8.7. Looking at our receivers, Cade Boniface with 6 receptions for 141 yards. Daniel Tyler with 2 receptions for 102 yards. Nolan Szymanski, our place kicker, making 14-point afters out of 18 attempts. And Cade Boniface with 6 punts for 238 yards with an average just under 40 for the evening. Also on our defensive summary, Cade Boniface with 25 tackles. Michael Klemanski with 21 and Dylan Rose with 21. So stay up to date with all the coverage of New Prairie High School from Cougar Broadcast Media by hitting the red subscribe button on YouTube. Watch school events, announcements, interviews, and of course athletic events on your smartphone, tablet, or computer, wherever you are. From Cougar Broadcast Media, your home for New Prairie athletics. You're listening to CBM, Cougar Broadcast Media.
Sharing. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to the Cougar Broadcast Media. We're going to cut to our on-field announcer this evening for our ceremonies with our 50th anniversary football players.
Cougar football began in 1968 after the consolidation of New Carlisle and Rolling Prairie high schools. Always a symbol of pride for our community, our football program's history is full of great memories and hundreds of young men that have worn the gold helmet with pride and have raised it high in victory. New Prairie football teams have won 10 Northern State Conference championships, 2 Northern Indiana Conference championships, 5 sectional championships, 2 regional championships, and was the state runner-up in 2014. Tonight we are also honoring several men and family members that have dedicated several years coaching and mentoring these athletes. Please show your appreciation to these following coaches. Representing our very first head coach, Indiana Hall of Famer, the late Iron Bill Lynch, are his daughters, Susan Albertson and Leanne Nickerson. Coach Lynch coached from 1968 to 1971. Next is Hall of Famer, head coach Ken Meyer. Coach Meyer coached the Cougars from 1971 to 1973. Next, also in the Hall of Fame, head coach Floyd Trosper. Coach Trosper spent several years as an assistant coach before becoming the head coach from 1974 to 1981. He also served as the assistant principal of New Prairie High School. Next is New Prairie graduate head coach Brian Williamson. Coach Williamson led the Cougars from 1994 to 1996. Coach Williamson also played for Coach Trosper. Next is head coach Marty Mawson. Coach Mawson led the Cougars from 2008 to 2011 after many years as an assistant at the high school and middle school, dedicating 28 years to New Prairie football. Unable to attend this evening is Coach CJ Mike Jennings, who had prior commitments, and Coach Bart Curtis, who is currently the head coach at Warsaw High School. Assistant coaches who are here this evening: Coach Tim Moffitt. Coach Moffitt coached under coaches Meyer, Trosper, Jennings, and Williamson and Curtis. Coach Moffitt played football for Coach Lynch at New Carlisle High School. Coach Jerry Colonese. Coach Colonese coached for Coach Trosper, and he played Cougar football for coaches Meyer and Lynch. Coach Keith Kaufman. Coach Kaufman coached with Coach Meyer for 3 years and for 6 years under Coach Jennings. Patricia Tolman, representing the late Harry Bear Tolman. Coach Tolman coached for many years at both the high school and middle school. Coach Randy McGriff. Coach McGriff coached in 1983 and 1984 under Coach Jennings. Coach Jim Hollyfield. Coach Hollyfield coached for 8 years under head coaches Williamson and Curtis. Coach Tim Scott. Coach Scott was an assistant under Coach Bart Curtis. Coach Frank Hobart. Coach Hobart coached under coaches Jennings, Williamson, and Curtis. Coach Keith Height. Coach Height coached under Coach Jennings. Coach Paul Zoll. Coach Zoll coached 8 years under Coach Curtis and Coach Mawson. Coach Zoll also played Cougar football under coaches Meyer and Lynch. Coach Judd Tolman. Coach Tolman coached under Coach Williamson and played Cougar football for Coach Trosper. Coach Tom Washburn. Coach Washburn coached under Coach Williamson and played Cougar football for Coach Jennings. We would also like to welcome former players on teams from the past, players who played in the teams in 1968 and 1969. Players who played in the 1970s. Players who played in the 1980s. Players who played in the 1990s. Players who played from 2001 to 2009. Players who played from 2010 to 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the New Prairie football family through the ages. And Cougar fans are welcome to form a tunnel for the Cougars.
Thank you to our on-field announcer, Mr. Steve Wade. And welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media. Game time in about 7.5 minutes. So we're looking at two teams tonight with a single loss each, looking for some Mishawaka, looking for some redemption against New Prairie, who took them out of playoff contention last year. Should be a good game. Beautiful night for football. It's in the high 70s, clear skies and sunny. Looks like a beautiful, beautiful evening to be playing football. I am Mark Stone. I will be the broadcaster for this evening, doing some play-by-play. And hopefully you have found us on the internet at CBM space NPHS. CBM is brought to you by New Prairie Superintendent Dr. Paul White, New Prairie High School Principal Mrs. Jen Sass, New Prairie Athletic Director Mr. Ben Bachman, by the parents and families of the New Prairie United School Corporation, Cougar Broadcast Media, supporting the mission and students of the New Prairie schools.
Nice going, Spencer.
I can't believe we broke Old Man Hennessy's window.
Correction, dude. You broke. I just threw the ball.
This is really bad. What are we gonna do?
We?
Go to the door, ask for the ball back. Are you serious? It's my ball, Myrtleback. You're so dead.
I'd run away.
Yeah, to Uruguay.
Kiss your life goodbye. Sorry.
Let's go. See you, dude. See ya. You remember me and you're well.
Some friends you are.
Keep smiling, keep shining.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell him it was an accident. And we can fix the window. Come on. I'll come with you.
Loyalty. Pass it on.
You go first.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Sharing. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media for our game this evening. The New Prairie Cougars and the Mishawaka Cavemen going head-to-head. Again, one loss per team, both looking for a win this evening. The Cougars stopped Mishawaka last year on their way to the state finals. The semifinal round, the Cougars beat the Cavemen, so they're looking for a little redemption this evening, trying to make things better for their program. Cougars have opened up a new aspect to their offense and going to some more pass plays this past week and looking very effective in doing so. Last week against John Adams, Mishawaka only had 7 pass attempts with 5 completions and 1 interception. So they are very much a running football team, much like the New Prairie Cougars. We're waiting for the teams to come out of the locker rooms and the Cougars to run down the tunnel that's being created by the band and the fans. So we'll be looking at that in a matter of moments. About 3 minutes left before the game. Again, our rushers tonight, looking at scoring and rushing, our top rusher for the New Prairie Cougars with 511 yards and 59 carries is Chris Mays, averaging 8.7 yards per carry with 8 TDs. Chase Ketter not far behind with 427 yards and 62 rushes, an average of 6.9 and 8 TDs. So we will see some running out of the Cougars. We'll also see some passing with Cade Boniface with 6 receptions, Daniel Tyler with 2, and Chris Mays with 1. For a kicking game, the punting, Cade Boniface is averaging 39.7 yards. And here come the Cougars. Cougars again looking to take another win against Mishawaka. The only time they've played previously was last year in the playoffs. So the Cougars looking to keep up their momentum and keep things moving forward for the program. So 3 minutes left before the game. We'll be looking at Cade Boniface as their quarterback this evening, followed by his receivers, Chris Mays being his top receiver, Cade Boniface, Daniel Tyler, and a great running game. Other matchups around the area tonight. Angola 7, Lakeland 0 in first quarter. Central Noble 0, Fremont 0 in the first quarter. Churubusco playing Prairie Heights ahead 14-0 first quarter. Concord 7, Goshen 3 in first quarter. Eastside 7, Garrett 0. Mishawaka Marion 0, Jimtown 0 in the second quarter of football. South Bend Adams 7, Penn 7 in the first quarter. South Bend Clay 0, Bremen 0 first quarter. And South Bend Riley 0 against South Bend Washington 0 in the first quarter of high school football this evening. John Glenn and Knox tied at 0 again in the first quarter. So football getting underway all over the state of Indiana this evening. And again, a beautiful evening for a football game. Follow Cougar Broadcast Media on social media for updates and events all year long. Find us on Twitter at CBM_NPHS or on YouTube by searching for CBM space NPHS today. When to stop the clock. Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media. Captains are on the field for the coin toss. We'll keep our cameras on the toss, and we'll let you know what's up here in a second. New Prairie in the gold uniforms, Mishawaka in the white. The Cougars. I believe the Cougars have won the toss and elected to receive. So we'll be getting underway shortly with Cougar football at Amzie Miller Field, right outside of New Carlisle, Indiana. So once again, we're looking at the Cougars of New Prairie playing Mishawaka Cavemen. So Coach Keith Kinder for the Cavemen is 3-1, his first year at Mishawaka. Russ Radke, the coach of New Prairie High School, is 63-15 in his seventh year at New Prairie. He's 353 and 135 in his 42nd year of coaching high school football. The last outing, Mishawaka defeated South Bend Adams 51-27, and last week New Prairie defeated South Bend St. Joseph 41-28 in kind of a stunner for St. Joseph. So we're about to get underway. Both teams on the field. Daniel Tyler back deep for the Cougars. Patton Snyder with the kickoff. It rolls into the end zone. Cougars will have their first down attempt. on their own 20-yard line. Cougars moving from right to left, moving into the western setting sun. So here we go. Kidder, quarterback for New Prairie, starting the game in the shotgun. Takes the snap. It's quarterback keeper, and he gets up the middle for about 7 yards. They'll bring up a second and long 3 for the Cougars on their own 26-yard line. Kidder staying in that shotgun formation. A little unusual for New Prairie. They're used to coming out with a running formation. Takes the snap, hands off to Daniel Tyler as Tyler goes around the right end. He will have a Cougar first down on their own 38-yard line. Looks like a hurry-up offense. Kidder to stay in the shotgun. They're effectively running right now against that caveman defense. Quick start for the Cougars. Takes the snap. Hands off to Chris Mays. Mays with a nice run. Takes the ball up to the Cougar 47-yard line, where it will be second and short. Cougars second and 1 on their own 48. Kidder again in the shotgun. Takes the snap. It's quarterback keeper. Goes around the left end. He just about broke that last tackle. He carries it down to the caveman 39-yard line, where it will be. No. Flag on the play. Looks like a hold on the Cougars on the interior of that offensive line. It's going to back them up and make it second and 11 for the Cougars on their own 36-yard line. Cougars staying with that shotgun formation. You got a man wide left. Kidder to take the snap. Kidder takes the snap. Hands off to Daniel Tyler. Tyler gets a chunk of yards back. It's going to be third down for the Cougars on their own 45-yard line. So 3rd and 3 to go for the Cougars. Cougars staying in that hurry-up offense with Kidder in the shotgun. Everybody in tight. Kidder, hands off to Chris Mays. Mays around the right side gets a nice gain for the Cougars. So the penalty took them back, but the Cougars regain the yardage and end up on the caveman 44-yard line. 1st and 10 Cougars. Going to stay with a tight formation with Kidder in the shotgun. One back in the backfield with him. Takes the snap. Hands off again to Chris Mays right up the gut. Mays with about a 6-yard run. Going to bring up 2nd and 4 for the Cougars on the caveman 35-yard line. Correction, 2nd and 2. Nice run by Chris Mays. Again, the bunch formation with Kidder in the back in that shotgun. Switching around the offensive lineman. Another shift. There's the snap. Kidder takes it right up the middle. Kidder finally tackled by Nick Bold for the Cavemen. But it's a first down for the Cougars. First and 10 Cougars on the 29-yard line of the Cavemen. Cougars with a very, very nice drive here, grinding out the offense. Mays takes the handoff, going left around the end. It looks like he could go. Touchdown, Cougars. Cougars scoring 6 early in this session. With 7:59 left in the first quarter. Cougars grind it out all the way down the field and take it in on a left-hand sweep. And around that left end, Chris Mays takes it in for the score. Nolan Szymanski up for the extra point. Szymanski with the boot right through the center for the extra point with 7:59 left in the first quarter. New Prairie 7, Mishawaka 0. You're listening to CBM Cougar Broadcast Media. Watch the action, right?
Number 7, Luke Ackerson will kick off for the Cougars.
Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media. Luke Ackerson kicking off for the New Prairie Cougars. Bradley Taylor with the return. Good pursuit by the Cougars. It'll be first and 10 for the Cavemen on their own 27-yard line. Tackle on that one, Coley Weinberg for the Cougars. Here come the Cavemen. We'll see what their first offensive series looks like. We'll see how the New Prairie defense responds. Sam Shively quarterbacking for the Cavemen. He goes left on a quarterback keeper. It gains about 4 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 6 for the Cavemen. They are also in a hurry-up offense, much like the Cougars started. The difference being Shively is under center. Has 2 backs behind him, the third one in motion. Goes for the pass, and it's a lateral. Curtis cuts inside on that lateral. Christopher Harness with the ball, and he is tackled on the 40-yard line. So a little trick play for Mishawaka, gains some big yards. First and 10, Cavemen on the Cougar 40-yard line. Wondered how the Cavemen were going to come out with a little bit of trickery is the answer to that question. So Shively under center, takes the snap, hands off to Harness inside, trying the interior line of the Cougar defense. Gets about 3 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 7 for the Cavemen. They are really quick on that hurry-up offense. Right back to the line. Oh, they're waiting for the signals from the coach. Here we go, Shively under center. Shively fakes it inside, sends it out. Got Bradley Taylor around the left side. Taylor takes it for quite a nice run for the Cavemen. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 Cavemen on the Cougar 22-yard line. Taylor made the corner after a fake to the inside by Shively. Pitches out, and Taylor goes around the end for a nice gain. All right, 1st and 10 Cougars on, or 1st and 10 Cavemen on the Cougar 22. Cavemen moving left to right. Handoff inside. He is met by a host of Cougar tacklers for no gain. Harness, he had a tough run there. He did gain 2 yards, sorry. Did gain 2 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8 on the Cougar 20-yard line for the Cavemen. Shively under center, takes the snap. He's going to keep it, going around the end. He breaks a couple tackles. Shively will be down at the 2-yard line and bring up a 1st and goal for the Cavemen. They are keeping up that hurry-up offense with Shively under center. It takes the snap, quarterback keeper. Up the middle. We're waiting for a signal. They did not make it, so it will be 2nd and about a yard for the Cavemen. 2nd and goal. Cavemen looking for the first score this evening. It's their first drive. Both teams grinding out a long drive to begin this game. Shively with the touchdown for the Cavemen. So Mishawaka answers that first drive touchdown by the Cougars. We have taken quite a bit of time off the clock with both of those offensive drives. Mishawaka with a single pass and a lateral. The Cougars with no passes at all in that first series. Patton Snyder with the kick for the extra point. So with 5:29 left, Cougars 7, Cavemen 7.
Nice going, Spencer. I can't believe we broke Old Man Hennessy's window.
Correction, dude. You broke. I just threw the ball.
This is really bad. What are we gonna do?
We?
Go to the door, ask for the ball back. Are you serious? It's my ball, Myrtleback. You're so dead.
I'd run away.
Yeah, to Uruguay.
Kiss your life goodbye. Sorry.
Let's go. See you, dude. See ya. You never mean you're well.
Nice one. Some friends you are.
Keep smiling, keep shining.
Hi.
You can
Tell him it was an accident.
count on me.
And we can fix the window.
Sure.
Come on. I'll come with you.
Loyalty. Pass it on.
You go first.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Cougar Broadcast Media. Daniel Tyler getting the kickoff. Snyder brings the ball back to over the 40-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Cougars on their own 40-yard line. Nice return by Tyler. Nice return. Kind of a pooch kick from Snyder. And the Cougars respond. Let's see how we line up for the Cougars. We're going to keep the tight formation on their own 40. And Boniface still in that shotgun. What a different look for, or Ketterer, excuse me. What a different look for the Cougars. Ketterer takes it left, inside up, 43. 2nd and 4 for the Cougars.